report.
So he's got one, so I don't have to.
Greetings, everybody. Happy New Year. Here's your agenda. We're at the Turner County Board of Education meeting. And we've got a extensive agenda tonight. Pause the video if you need to read those. Chairman Mathis says we will not be here very long. I'm thinking 2.5 hours. We'll see. Pretty significant right there. Change on how much they can spend. There's a $1.1 million grant. We'll have news about that in the paper. The district spelling bee is at the Civic Center. It starts at 8:30 on January 16th. We're going to try to bring you video. You've got to get permission to do that. And your last page of the agenda. Told you it was a long one. There you go. Your left to right, Superintendent Christy Ray, Chairman David Mathis, Vice Chair Sandra Blue, Cornelius Seaball, Ann Kendrick, and the longest serving member of the Board of Education, one of the longest serving elected officials in Turner County, Sam Brown. I believe right now only Joe Burgess has held office longer than Sam. Attorney John Holland is not yet here. The meeting will start in a moment.
According to Penny Thomas. It'll be great, so, great fun for this meeting.
Good evening. Happy New Year, John. I didn't do it.
The one in my office does it by itself. I'm just sitting
Really?
there,
You
all of a
just
sudden
did
it starts going down.
you're right, it's gonna do too. Y'all been fighting with me? Down there, drink down there? Well,
Official time is 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. I trust our faculty and staff had a restful break. Ready to get home stretch for the rest of the school year. We'll ask everyone to stand for our invocation and resolution. Ms. Ann Kendrick, would you please input?
Jesus.
Thank you for another day and another
Lord, for the
opportunity
hand
we
of
have
protection
to
of these students and
make
staff,
decisions
this
for the
faculty,
school that we
and
feel
all
will
those who walk
benefit
through
the
these
students,
doors,
the
past,
employees,
present, and future.
everyone that's involved with it.
These
Lord,
are
I pray
farmers
that
what
you
they need,
Be
and
with us
safety
as
of
we
those
leave
in public
tonight.
safety.
And bless this meeting.
Give them the wisdom they need to make the right decisions. Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will review our proposed agenda for the January 12th, 2026 regular board meeting. Call to order, kitchen pledge. The agenda in front of us, we have some student and staff recognition. Ms. Ray goes through.
We do, we'll be recognizing our own Mr. Sandy Brown for his 25 years of service at next Monday's meeting. Our GSBA Distinguished Board, the recognition that you all received at the December conference. Our GYSTC STEM Scholar, Ms. Kendall Purvis, will be recognized next Monday, as well as our Reach Scholars and our new Titan mascot, Lily Hill. They'll all be here next month.
And we have one request for public participation.
We do, and I do have a meeting scheduled with him tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and so I'll have some more information for you maybe before that time.
Item F is items requiring board action, with recommendation from the superintendent. We have approval of the minutes from last month. I will breeze through this, and just like to have any questions, comments. I'll have the approval of the November 2025 financial statement, which we will have next week.
Hopefully the next couple of days.
Approval of the SPOS budget. And approval of the new middle high school budget summary. And we have the approval of HR recommendations. We have a few of those this month.
No, we'll have probably more added this week, we're still waiting on one.
Okay. Item 6 is approval of superintendent compensation. Item 7 will be approve the e-loss resolution, packets and authorize Superintendent Ray to transmit the certified resolution to the Turner County Election Superintendent to initiate the call for the May 19th, 2026 referendum.
And you do have information in your packets, Ms. Walker is here, if you have any additional questions, I think she probably will want to go over some of the information, just as a summary.
Okay.
Of what you've been provided.
Well, pretty much what I put in your packet is, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any of that. I try to just spell it out. But I did want to give you all a copy of the debt service schedule, if you don't mind. numbers in there of what we have to pay on the interest. And I did wanna explain real quick. In between the two lines, those, this referendum will cover that period. But then I turned around and I highlighted in green, those that I highlighted in green make up that payment. Because if you look, yes, look at the very first one, I did not highlight it because it's September 1st, 2027. If SPLOST passes, we won't have time to collect that money to make that 936,000 payment. So I left that one off, and then I picked one up after the SPLOST ended. And I did explain all that, but I thought it would help if you had something to look at concrete. But if you have any questions about what I put in the packet, I'll be happy to answer them.
I didn't think this, is this the same thing that you emailed to us?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think it was good. One thing I'm concerned with, nothing that you put in here, just concerned when we get ready to advertise it, people not thinking that this is an additional tax, that
That's
people
right.
understand that this is something you're already paying, and if you don't vote for it, we're gonna have to increase the millage rate. I think that's gonna be really important.
It
I don't know
will.
how we will word that, but,
Well, that's one of the reasons that we were proactive in putting the articles in the paper ahead of time over the last few weeks.
oh, it's already been.
Help people understand.
So, and to be honest, I don't think we can do the advertising
Oh,
for
no, no.
it. It's got to
It's gotta be
come from
public.
other people. And I will say, I have been talking to just people I know so that they understand, this is a, not in addition to, it is a continuation of our SPLOST.
What we've done in the past, how long have we been doing these costs?
Oh, gosh.
Forever.
All I know is I have been here for 20 years and we've always had these SPLOST. So, this will be our 7th e-SPLOST. So,
For 5 years?
each
5
one
years.
lasts for 5 years,
So that's good.
20 quarters. John, do you have anything to add to that?
Now, the statutes tell you, what you have to put, so those numbers have to be in there. But that's a good statement, everybody needs to understand, it's not new, it's just paying that, plus other projects.
That's right. But I do wanna add, I'm glad you said plus other projects, that difference you see between what we could possibly collect, the $7,250,000, versus what we have to pay in these payments, that does not, I think I put in there's a difference of $1 million something. That doesn't mean we'll have $1 million for other projects, because we don't know that we'll collect that full amount. So I'm glad you said that, thank you. We had lots of conversations over the holiday break. So,
I think it's good to see that if you do not, this does not pass, that we would need to raise for,
That would be a teacher.
I think so. I think, and it is the fairest tax, because then we've got people, everybody going up and down that interstate that stops in Turner County, they're helping pay for our new building. But, as of now, it is our plans to pay for that building with SPLOST funds, and only SPLOST funds, so. And that's the goal, that's how most schools do it. All right, well, if you have any questions, you know where to get me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Item 8 is the consideration and approval to update regulation BJE all-in-one purchase regulations to raise micro purchase from less than $1,500 to less than $5,000.
This has been discussed, in 2 different meetings at this point, and so you can see in the second packet that's provided for you, you can see where the red line is taking place. Ms. Walker and I worked on this to come up with the level 1 school initiation purchase list, and then there's a level 1 district level purchase list. And you can see that it's on page 4 of the revised regulations, the one that has this at the heading. It's been retyped, it's on page 4 of this packet, in red. of the conversations that we had during our board retreat, as well as our previous board meetings, about making sure those purchases are regulated, making sure that the proper people sign off on those purchases, and that it goes through the proper process.
And I will say again, Ms. Ray, when you
Thank
sent me
you.
the text, I started looking back because I put other stuff together. And one of the things I thought might be helpful, so here we go again. This is something I put together for our principals because theirs will be the one that, you know, we've separated them out. So this is just a little cheat sheet for our principals, just so you'll see what they'll get. Anything that has to do with grant funding, that's considered a district purchase. That means, if a principal says, hey, if he calls Miss Terry, Title I, do we have funds to buy testing computers? And she says, yes, what do you need? And she looks at her Title I budget. Then, yes, she will tell the principal, you go ahead and put in a purchase order, but it'll have to go through her. So they can put it in, and they can spend, $5,000, say it was gonna be $4,800. It's still got to go through Miss Terry. So in other words, the principal can't spend $4,800 because it's not a school initiated. Even though he put it in, or the principal did, that is considered grant. So that will follow our grant rules, and which means it has to go through the director. So somebody at the board office will always be signing off if it's $1,500 or above. If it's not grant, it'll be me. So there is some oversight there. Any questions on that? No, once again.
Item 9 is elect the new board chair and vice chair for 2026 calendar year. Item 10 is the approval of the school board attorney for 2026 calendar year. Item 11 is approval of the board meeting dates for 2026 calendar year. Item 12, we will adopt adoption of the norms and protocols. Item 13 is approval of Parker Poe as special education attorney for the 2026 calendar year.
Wait, I have a question about that. What's that all about?
I actually have this myself here so that she can kind of explain that further, and this is not a new attorney, this is one that we've been using already.
But
So-
I don't understand it.
Excuse me. So Parker and Poe is where Reagan Souls and Beth Morris, who represented y'all in cases earlier before my time, moved to, okay? They were at Harvard and Hartley. They are the special education people that you know, either them or Julie Weatherly, and she is much more expensive than Parker and Poe. So what we get with them is just the knowledge of IDEA with attorneys that know exactly how that works inside and out and can give advice readily in situations. Over the past couple of years, we really have not had to use them very often, but that doesn't mean we can't land in a due process situation or a court situation and make that representation. Mostly what I have used over the past few years has been a few consultation calls in sticky situations to make sure that we are handling it the best way that we can, with the resources and stuff that we have and being legal about it. We've only had to reach out to them, I would say last year, I think, I reached out to them one time for less than an hour to get some clarification on the situation. I can't say that it will always be that easy because, you know, as y'all all know, special ed situations can blow up and become very big. But having that access to somebody who specializes in that is vitally important in the moment. So I guess it's been a few years back, Mr. Matthews was here, and we shifted from Harbin and Hartley to Parker and Poe. We made that shift, after Beth and them had left. We had kept using Harbin and Hartley, for a couple of months after that. We had a situation with a student, reached out to Harbin and Hartley, and literally it took them 7 days to return the call. And then when they returned the call, it was, we'll get somebody on that to get you an answer. And we were already in full blown in a DFAC situation and everything else. I needed answers. So that was when, I think we had come to y'all and asked, can we please change over so that we can get back with Beth and Reagan? Because they are just vitally important in the work that they do. They know it inside and out and work with school systems all over the state.
Yeah, because Harvard is closed down, so.
Yeah, they're not.
They had,
They're under our.
they had some of the partners and associates, I think this person used to be with, they actually have a different, name now.
KPP.
Right.
Can be.
So, and that was put into effect a couple years ago.
But in some of that shuffling, they made their switch before all of that other had come in.
So this is in addition to our KK, whatever.
Correct. It would still happen as well. As needed.
What kind of cost is this?
Officer per hourly rate. For that one time we called this last year.
I wanna say it was $300 an hour.
There's no retainer, is there retainer?
And they let us call as needed, there's no minimum. And they don't make us sign a contract every year. I brought it to her attention when I saw that the attorney thing was on the list, I was like, we need to make sure that we go through y'all to keep using them too.
Thank you. Item 14 is the approval of FFA leadership overnight field trip to Camp John Hope, from May 25th through May 29th, 2026. Item 15 is approval of FFA overnight field trip to Success Conference on February 27th through February 28th, 2026 in Covington, Georgia. And last item, for approval is the proposed 2026-2027 school calendar.
And for the school calendar, it has been shared with the school staff. Mr. Jordan has been receiving feedback, so we can share any additional comments or suggestions that we've received from that feedback.
You have a copy of,
Yes, they do.
you have any questions about? Not a lot changed, it's pretty much the same calendar from last year. It started in July, which that's kind of hard to, July 31st, but under those parameters of 190, 180, that's kind of the only way we can make it work. Without cutting in on holidays.
The only complaint that I've heard is early release dates. Heard some teachers complain about those,
Not having them or
but
not
not
having them.
having them. I don't know, that's a
That's for what, Christmas?
huge deal.
Mhm.
Christmas, that's the day that we got for Christmas.
Fall break and Christmas.
And then the last day is
Yeah.
so.
I don't know, those is only 3 days.
What
That's
was
the
the
feedback.
feedback, they wanna have them? or
They
don't?
do not have them, they would, you know.
They're not very productive.
You know, that's not the kids and the parents have to find something, someplace to put them.
That's the only feedback I've ever heard from the school calendar. Alright. Item H is information items for the board, and let Trey take over from there.
Okay, so, as you can see, in our backyard over here, the construction updates, it's ongoing, and, some pretty exciting things are happening right now. The concrete slab for building 1400 was poured, the gym slab was poured, the east and west locker room slabs have been poured. You can see that the steel erection for building 1400 is ongoing, and, it'll be decked out, or it's decked out by the end of the 3rd week in December. January, this month is where you'll see roofing, you'll see the overhead HVAC, and you'll see fireproofing going on. And, I sent you a text this morning asking if you were available. They are, ready for the next topping out ceremony. As you can remember, we had that when we raised the very last highest beam for phase one. We had a topping out ceremony. We'll do the same for phase two. And, we're getting close to that point. So January 16th was the date that was suggested. And if you're available, that's the date that we'll go with. And I'll make sure that works for the school administrators and their teams as well. But we're looking at a 2 o'clock time on January the 16th. And that is a Friday.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. So if that works for y'all, that's the date that I'll confirm with them.
I hear no objections.
You can move forward.
Let me know if anything comes up in between now and then.
If the majority of people go to good with 2 o'clock, well, I'm there, not we can just move forward.
Alright, so that's exciting. As far as phase one, we did have some work that was completed over the Christmas break. That work actually was supposed to be signed off on. I saw Kyle actually walking on the phase one roof today, as I was out on the building site doing some other things. And so that's what he was checking for, was to make sure everything that we had on those punch lists was completed. So I'll have a meeting with him on Wednesday to get the final results from his, walkthrough that he did today to find out where we're at in phase one. Some of the things that, we have added, I don't know if any of you have ever parked in the front of the new school and had to walk to this building. There is no way to get here without walking through the grass or actually walking on the highway. And so one of the things that was proposed is taking the, I guess, the plaza area, I think plaza is the word that's been used most often, and kind of cut through that back brick so that there could be a walkway straight through. So you can go straight from one parking lot to this parking lot without having to walk on the highway. Definitely much safer. So, we're looking to get some quotes on that. It doesn't look like that's gonna be a big expense at all based on the work that'll be done. I've already confirmed with y'all that the landscaping plans are now in place for around the holding pond. So, that will be done in January as well. The brick pavers, the engraved brick paver project that was completed, I think the bricks were sold maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Those will also be installed in January. We're working on that, layout now. That'll be something that we finalize probably by the end of this week. And I think that's all that I have as far as construction updates, unless you have questions. One more. We actually have the issue with Haley Avenue. That's where the buses will be coming in over there by the tennis courts. And so we actually have a meeting with the city this Thursday. And so we'll make sure that we've got all the permits in place and that, who's responsible for which part of the road, because obviously Haley Avenue is their road, but it's gonna have to be something that we have construction on and have some projects that are associated with that little bit of that stretch. And so, from all of that, we're gonna discuss. But that's all that I have for construction, unless you have questions. All right, financial reports, the school account summaries that we started providing to you, I think in the December meeting. Ms. Walker will again provide those to you again this month. She'll get those to you in the next few days, and then get the rest of the financials. As we always do in January, the principals will, present their mid-year data review to you. That will be next Monday, during the Monday board meeting. The Legacy Behavior Health MOU, Ms. Tasha was not able to do this tonight, so to kind of give you an overview, basically what Legacy Behavioral Health does for us is it supports our students' wellness, it supports helping them make healthy discussions, discussions involved in those decisions. It brings healthy resources, it brings education for our students, such as baby prevention, suicide prevention, and so it's just a plethora of resources that we are thankful to have. We went through a lot of different programs to decide which one was best for us, and this is the one that was selected. As far as Transcend's Rural Career Connected Collaborative update, when we put this agenda together, I think it was December 15th, 16th, when we were working on it, and we did not receive the final selection announcement. I now have it, and we have been selected. I think it's exciting to go ahead and announce that the Transcend Rural Career Connected Collaborative only selected 10 school systems across the country, and we are one of those 10 school systems. So I am very thankful to be a part of this collaborative. All it's going to do is basically focus on career connected learning and building up that college and career academy and how we can connect with our surrounding community and worked very hard. Our students and our parents did a great job when we had our interviews, and, so I'm thankful to everybody who had a hand in it. And I'm excited to see what the next 15 months, will give us, working with this group. Next on the agenda is some AI updates, and I'm gonna have Ms. Rainey come and give us those updates for you.
Good evening. I don't know, I'm gonna start from the beginning. I hope I don't bore you with too much information. I don't know if you're aware that we do have an AI implementation team. It's 9 members across the districts that have been working, since about August, on anything related to AI. We did send out, we created a survey and sent it out district-wide to all teachers and staff, including the district directors and staff. From that, we identified that there was a clear need for additional knowledge, some training, and some practical support for teachers and staff. So based on that, we started, well, I won't say we started, but we continued our partnership with Coastal Plains RESA, their technology specialist, Leanne Neesmith. She was actually on campus today. Today, we hosted a beginner session. 8 people attended in this room early this morning, and then there was an intermediate session where the elementary school teachers and staff, alongside the middle school teachers and staff, 76 people in this room attended, focused on AI literacy, safe, effective classroom use. There was some hands-on demonstrations related to Gemini, which is available through Google Classroom, and Notebook LM, which is also available through a platform that we use, Google Classroom. I did reach out to teachers and staff today. 21 people responded, so it's not a huge amount of respondents thus far, but 80% of those that responded were satisfied or extremely satisfied with the professional learning that they got today, so that's a good thing. Also today, some of those AI implementation members came together to begin some AI guidance for Turner County Schools. So right now it's in draft mode. We'll present what we have to the rest of the team later this month and then go from there. Any questions related to AI? Well, the implementation of what's happening in the district? Okay.
I'll probably make a little bit about the pilot program.
Sure will. Part of that, when we really started to dig into AI and kind of what was available, the partnership with Coastal Plains RESA, she brought to our attention that they have a robot. It's an AI robot. It's called M2. So we were able to, myself and Jennifer Thomas, the technology director, kind of partnered together. We were able to secure about 3 weeks, maybe almost close to 4 weeks, between Thanksgiving, just before Thanksgiving and Christmas. So with that, we kind of just wanted to put it out there in the district to see how students would react to it, how teachers could use it inside classrooms for instruction. So it went through 3 different classrooms, 7th grade ELA, 4th grade math and science, and then in a kindergarten room. Each of these classrooms, and M2 is about the size of a big iPad, if you will. It stands up straight, and it's just a robot. It's 2 digital eyeballs, if you will, but it's verbal. So you can ask it questions and it responds to you verbally. So it was in 3 different classrooms. It does provide teachers, after the lesson is over, with some great feedback on how they can improve instruction, which was very exciting for all the teachers to kind of see. Even seasoned teachers, it was in one classroom where she's taught for over 20 years, as opposed to it was in a classroom teacher with about 5 years experience and even less than that. So that was a great benefit to the teachers. How can I improve instruction? So that was a benefit from them. Of course, we did get some survey takeaways from students. The 7th and 4th graders responded. We did not have intentions to speak with some of the kindergartners, but of course they couldn't respond digitally. But the students reported that M2 was super easy to use. They rated it a 4.6 out of 5. So they enjoyed it in their classrooms. They said it helps them better understand lessons and explanations. They really enjoyed being able to ask a robot questions. So it was an assistant to the teacher, if you will, which was good to, it was a good experience for all of them. The teachers also responded that it was easy to set up, easy to manage, and seamless kind of whole group into small group if that's what they wanted to do with that. So it was good overall.
So not as a replacement to a teacher, but as a support and as an assistant.
We
I
saw
think it
him
was well received.
GSBA.
Oh, good, good.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
Our next exciting announcement is that, over the, I think it was the beginning of the December Christmas break, we found out that Turner County Middle School has met all the criteria to exit the 2025 Georgia DOE TSI list. So, I've got Mr. Jordan who's gonna speak to that and kind of give us a little bit more information about what it meant to be on the list and how to be off, and, what we're gonna continue to do to make sure we're providing all the things that our students need and deserve.
Well, I spoke to you earlier about us being on that list, and I'm not very fond of, like state list, but, it wasn't the first time, and I hope it's the last, but I won't promise you that. But a lot of work was done and put in place to come off that list, and I like to thank our schools, I like to thank Ms. Mizell, and, students with disabilities, because that's the area that we were on, and we made a lot of great improvements in that area. In coding, with counselors, Mr. West, just a great team effort, starting last January. And so, when those test scores came in, we got the news that we wanted, and, like I said, just excited about it. And we're gonna continue that work, as we move forward. And also, the new current list came out, on December 16th, I believe, and we're not any of our schools on this. So that's good news. But that list was from 2 years ago. So, do you have any questions or anything that you'd like to ask? As far as the work, it's a lot of hard work going on in the schools. It really is. I'm really proud of that. And thank you again, Ms. Mizell. And our entire, MTSS, because we're also doing the Georgia MTSS, and Ms. Terry, she does a lot of work, Ms. Rainey, Ms. Darcy Rainey, Ms. Mizell, and myself, so, she's doing some really great things.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan.
We did put a lot of processes in place, not just to get off the list, but processes that should have been in place all along to make sure those systemic changes continue. You also have in your packets the updated athletic calendars for baseball, tennis, and for the rifle team. So, I know the students would love to have any of you come and support them whenever you're available.
All right, we'll move into the items from the desk of the superintendent.
All right, so another big announcement, so good night for that. We have received notification, and I have been given permission to let the board know and to share it with y'all tonight. The official announcement will come probably in a few weeks from the federal government, but we have received the Russ DLT grant in the amount of $1 million. So that was one of the ones that Ms. Thomas and Mr. Joyner worked on a year ago. When did we submit that? Last spring? We submitted that last spring, and there is a little packet, a staple packet within your folder that has all of the equipment that will be purchased. The focus of the Russ DLT grant, just as a reminder, is to bridge the gap in educational and healthcare services for rural residents by leveraging technology to connect them with resources and expertise that they may not have available to them locally. It's basically for underserved rural regions, and obviously there are a lot of underserved rural regions, so we are very fortunate to have received everything that we applied for. So you can see the list of everything that each school is getting with the grant funds, and how we supported some of those efforts with some local time funds as well. Any questions about the award of the grant? Yes, we are very appreciative. The team has worked very hard, the district team and the school team, to procure and gain all of the competitive grants that I talked to you about when we had the November board retreat. We are at almost $6 million in competitive grants that we have received, that this school system now has access to and now has available to them that we would not have had otherwise. people, that takes our team members, that takes our folks going above and beyond, working outside the normal school day to make this happen. This is not part of their normal, job description because it hasn't ever been done before. So I appreciate the team and what they've done to make this happen to benefit our students. Next item on the agenda is, just a recap of the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. I will get those meeting minutes to you, this week before our meeting next Monday. But I wanted you to know that the focus of our December meeting with those Superintendent Student Advisory Council students was on school traditions. With us having a new school building, with us having a brand new implementation of all things new, we thought it would be a great idea to go ahead and start some new traditions. It could be something as simple as a time capsule that's, opened up in 25 years, or it could be something that we do every single year in the spring, or in the fall, where our senior students are connected with our kindergartners. We have some mentors, we have some role models, programs, whatever. They just had all of these great ideas. So I'll share those with you this week, and kind of tell you how we've narrowed those down, next Monday. We also completed our first community service project. That was some of the feedback that I received from the council members last year, is they wanted to do more than one. We did do one last year. This year we're gonna do at least 2, possibly 3. So we went across the street. We actually saw Mr. Brown there. That was a nice surprise getting to see him. We went to Pruitt Health, and they were able to visit with the residents. They made them Christmas cards. They sang Christmas carols to them. And all of the directors and employees there said that it was much appreciated. And I think the students got as much out of it as the residents did. So I appreciated what they did to bring some Christmas cheer to those folks across the street. Ms. Rainey, I don't know if you got the update today. We do have it on the agenda about the elementary winter break readathon. We can share that next Monday if you're still collecting data. Because I know today was the deadline.
Today was the deadline, I'm good.
Okay,
You ready?
all right, yeah, go ahead.
Um,
So we started something new, so this is exciting.
We did. It was mentioned several months ago, so I'm very glad that we could actually see it through. But the elementary school launched a winter readathon that actually started Friday, December the 12th. And it was a huge kickoff event where all the students came through to the gym during their regular, I always call it connections, but they call it exploratory at the elementary school. So this was led by Brandy Register, the media specialist that's there. Prior to that, she found a Books Are Fun initiative, and the community, the parents, I'm sure some teachers raised $8,000 to support literacy. So this program, once it kind of came into fruition and all these books came in, it was let's use this to promote literacy. So as they're handing out at least one book to every elementary school student, we kind of kicked off that event. Like, now that you have at least one book at home, continue to read and log your pages. So the readathon was just that kickoff event, and then we advertised it by sending home a flyer to every student that included a QR code. So either the student themselves or the parents or guardians could help them log the book that they read, the author, a little bit of information, just to kind of promote that over Christmas break. I will say that participation was lower than we hoped. Over winter break, 11 students participated in the readathon by submitting a total of 28 book entries. Some were digital and some were print, but even these 11 students read over 1,000 pages. So that's a big deal. The participating students are going to be recognized tomorrow when they come back to school with a special lunch that the school's purchasing for them, and then of course a certificate. So they have intentions to refine this and host another one over the summer. Questions?
NTSS, Mr. Jordan already mentioned it a few minutes ago, but I've got Ms. Mizell here tonight, who's gonna go through basically what's happening at the district level, and now that we're in phase 2, what our next steps are in order to roll out NTSS with the development.
Okay, so like Mr. Joyner said, we have a district team that's been working on this project. It is a state-sponsored cohort, so they're providing us direct instruction, support, a coach, as well as professional learning to go with it. Through this process, we've done a lot of looking at our district and surveying to deciding where our weaknesses are, what we need to put in place. One of the things that we felt, through our evaluation process that needed a lot of support with systems. We need a lot of, as people come and go, a system might have been developed, but then if it was never written down anywhere, never documented, it was hard for the next person to come in behind it and follow it. So, a lot of things became broken systems over time. So one of the tasks that we all agreed would be essentially important would be to look at the systems that we need and really get those in writing and those processes, solidified and shared out and trained on. So we started with curriculum, of course, because student learning is our focus. Okay, so that was one of the things that we did, and through that process, we looked at developing and outlining how curriculums need to be approved, how they need to be purchased, how they need to be monitored, the usage, and the professional learning, and then the fidelity of providing that, okay? So that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. The next thing we're going to be really focusing on is like the scheduling process, the input of data, developing, the plans for, what are we doing for grading? What are we doing for tasks? What are we doing for, and all of that's part of that scheduling component that's put into the district, student information system. So that's the next, phase. We're also looking at, manuals. Ms. Terry found a really good, manual from Brooks County for MTSS, where they have all these systems embedded within their manual, their MTSS manual. So we are looking at models to develop our manual by, and to be able to put it out there so that we're very fluid and very clear with our expectations and our information. The other thing that we've been doing, Mr. Joyner's been working on this to get us, set up to where we're doing tier 1 data meetings using the state model. We talk about data all the time, but we're not really troubleshooting that data or problem solving that data. A lot of times it's presented and then, well, what do you do with it? So we are being very intentional about that with quarterly meetings and getting that information. We've also developed what we call an early warning indicator. I'm sure you've all heard of that before. We have set parameters. Ms. Darcy and Ms. Terry have worked really, really hard on making sure that we have those parameters, and we're ready now to move forward to input those and start running trial sets to see what students fall in that early warning system, so we can target students and really put those supports in place. So that's where we are in our process.
Thank you.
All right, and then our leader in need, Ms. Terry, you'll give us an update on where we're at in our leader in need implementation.
Good morning, good evening. Leader in Need, this is our second year of implementation, a comprehensive framework, pre-K-12 framework, that focuses on building, life skills in our students and leadership skills. And they use the seven habits of highly effective people, to teach those skills to our students. Each of our schools have set times in their daily schedules for teachers or teaching lessons to our students every day, at each of the 3 schools. And we also, this is year 2, and we receive coaching. Ms. Kristen is our coach. She's from the Leader in Me, and she comes down and provides coaching and training to our teachers and to our schools. So she came down, the first time this year was in October. She came down with the teachers, and she met with all the grade levels at the different schools, and just kind of got feedback from them as far as how things were going, what's going well, what's not going well, what can I help you with, that kind of stuff. And it was some really good meetings, insight meetings for her. And after she left, she sent email feedback to the principals to share with the teachers, and also a lot of resources and videos and things that were in there to help the teachers alleviate some of the things that may have been having difficulties with. And our next meeting with Ms. Kristen, she's coming back again. The second coaching session is going to be the end of this month. And she'll meet with all the grade level teams of each school and get further feedback and just try to help the teachers move through, the implementation phases of this program. Let's see. And again, I said each school has a time that they have on their schedules where the lessons are being taught each day. And pretty much the teachers, fairly, they think it's, going well. I mean, implementation is going well. I mean, they've gotten used to it and they're beginning to see some good habits developing in our students. So hopefully, the end goal, of course, is increased academic achievement. You know, once you get your kids in bed, all your kids committed to the culture built around being leaders and being a part of the school and being positive in the culture, of course, your academics is going to later follow with that. So that's the whole gamut of that. So that is a quick snippet of Leader in Me. Any questions?
I need that myself.
Yeah, I learned a lot from it. I mean, it's good. And I mean, it's not just for the kids, you know, adults are learning as well, because they're having to reframe the way they think about a lot of things too as well, from teaching those things to the kids. So it's beneficial to all. And it can also benefit you in your personal life as well, your relationships. So there's some good stuff there.
Thank you.
So the next item, I just wanted to let you know that, not only is it important for me to make sure the students are involved in community service and giving back in the way that they can, but for our adults and our district staff too as well. So part of our district, end of year, end of semester Christmas party, we actually brought Toys for Tots, and those have already been donated to the Toys for Tots program. The JROTC military ball was held in December. I did not realize it until I was sitting in the gym with the incredible decorations and the students and the JROTC around us. That was the first time it had been held in 21 years, since 2004. It was a great experience, the pomp and circumstance, the military protocols that were followed. It was impressive to watch, the practice and rehearsals and all the work that had to have gone into that on the back end. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the JROTC and our high school for the work that they do to support that program. The Judicial Child Abuse Committee work, that's some of the work that Mr. Mathis and I actually had the meeting in Tifton about, continued on through this virtual meeting. We did end it for the year. It obviously will start back as an ongoing process and an ongoing committee that the superintendents in the area are a part of. And but for 2025, I wanted to let you know that those goals have been met and that work has been completed. Still lots of work to do. Obviously, that's an ongoing item that we always have to contend with, unfortunately. The Titan College and Career Academy, governance board and work that's being done in the Titan College and Career Academy. I'll let Ms. Shorter give you an update on what we're going to be doing in January and the upcoming months.
Good evening, everyone. We did not have a meeting in December because we will meet 10 times a year in December and May are the 2 months that we don't meet, since those 2 months are really, really busy. But we've had some good things happen since we last met in November and since Mr. Mike Moore updated you at the last meeting. We wrapped up our first semester with good in the pathway information. We had 2 pathways in with 100% pass rates. That's our food and nutrition. We had 7 students attest with the ServSafe food handler certification, and all of those students passed with 100%. And we had 4 students in our ag education to take and pass their industry certifications also. So both of those pathways ended with 100% pass rates. And you may have seen that article in the paper and on our social media. We are transitioning the audiovisual pathway to Adobe Premiere. Ms. Thomas, she had a nice quote for us, so we will be implementing that this semester. Because the NOCTI certification doesn't really lead to an interview cert that those students can put on a resume, and it's more beneficial for our students to get a credential in addition to their diploma. So we're transitioning to the Adobe Premiere certification this semester. Good news with the parade, our CTA float, which is a joint float. All of our pathways and our CTSOs were represented on that float, and it was completely assembled by our students, and they won the best overall float in our Ashburn Turner County Christmas parade. So we're very excited about that. The kids were very excited also. Those students that participated that morning. We are preparing for our spring career fair, so at our January meeting, that's next week, I will be asking our businesses to sign up in our secondary partners to sign up for a booth in our career fair, our spring college and career fair here in the Civic Center. And we typically do that the last day before spring break. At our chamber meeting, we received a lot of favorable comments about this year's mock interviews. Our students, they said they felt like this is the most prepared that our students have ever been with their resume prep and also their interview prep. So I'm very proud of our teachers and our students that participated in our fall mock interview process. Also going on next week, our flex students will take a field trip to the state capitol. They will take a tour of the state capitol, visit the Georgia Farmers Market and America's Mart, where they will meet with our elected officials and take a guided tour of the state capitol. They will learn about civic engagement and leadership in the legislative process, and they will network with other entrepreneurs and the other flex participants across the state on this field trip. So we're very excited about that. We'll leave here very early in the morning and drive up to Atlanta. Ashley Miller from the chamber will go with us, and Mr. Mike Moore, he will also chaperone the students that will go on that field trip. So we'll leave very early here and probably return around 6:30, 7 o'clock that day. So it'll be a long day for us, but we're excited about those students participating. I think that will be on January 15th. We'll take our trip to Atlanta. And then lastly, we're about 150 days out, 5 months out from our Costa Rica field trip. So I'm planning on meeting with our students to make sure that they have passports in place and everything, because they're spending their money on this experience. I want to make sure that they have their documents and everything that they need in order to be able to successfully board the plane and whatnot. So I'm excited. So you may see some videos of us zip lining through the rainforest, but I'm excited about that. Our students and the parents that will be going with us on that trip. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Jones.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, next on the agenda, we have our district spelling bee also coming up on January the 16th. That'll be that morning. I didn't photocopy for you, but Ms. Lynn Davis actually sent me a picture today of the trophy that I told you about a few months ago that she wanted to do, so that we have a district winner. So sometimes it may be at the elementary school, the district winner, sometimes it may be at the middle school. So it almost becomes kind of a school competition, who gets to have the trophy for the year. The trophy is incredible. It has a place for plaques, kind of like the PGA trophies do, where you can add to it each year and just add the kids' names that were the winners for that year. So January 16th will be when we have that district spelling bee for the winners from the elementary, middle school, local, individual competitions. Ms. Rainey, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything else. There'll be six participants, 3 from the elementary and 3 from the middle school. We do have intentions to live stream it, to send that link out to teachers so they can watch it that morning.
So we know when the region competition is for this
Yes,
winner?
I do have that down here. It's Saturday, February the 8th in Bainbridge.
So our winner will go on on February the 8th. The Athletic Hall of Fame, this is something we've been working on for about 6 months. We are now at the point where we've got the presentation scheduled for January 24th, and I've got Coach Raymond here to give us some additional details about that night.
Good evening, everyone. Myself and a committee of 7 other gentlemen, we've chosen 11 individuals to be recognized. It's going well. One of our biggest concerns right now is being able to reach out and get in contact with everybody. You know, it's still going on as planned, but we're having trouble contacting everybody. So, we reached out about 5 or 6 individuals so far, and should have a final number probably by Friday. So, very excited about it. I'm gonna get with Ms. Ray about these trophies and plaques.
We have already ordered their golden tickets.
Yes.
Like the American Idol golden tickets, we already have those to present to them. Thank you. The Chamber Annual Banquet is scheduled for January 29th. In the past, I know the school system has had a table for the board members, and if that's something that y'all are willing to participate in and continue, I will let Ms. Miller know to book one for us. Let's see, professional learning, we've already talked about professional learning and focus on AI for today. Superintendent class visits, if you'll remember, that was something that I started last year. I did it once in the fall and once in the spring. Every single teacher in the school system, along with email, personalized feedback that's received. And as I told you, the fall walkthroughs that I completed, with Ms. Rainey, in September, there were some teachers that we decided at that point needed some additional follow-up. So instead of waiting until the spring, we're actually gonna do additional walkthroughs on just select, January the 14th through the 16th, some additional drop-ins, just to see how they're progressing based on the academic coaching and support that they've received in specific areas. As far as the November, December newsletter, if you haven't already, seen it, it's on our website, it's also posted on social media. I really encourage you to peruse through it. It is a robust, extended edition, with a lot of exciting things that you probably have not seen or heard about that are happening in our schools and in our classrooms. One of the things that I've mentioned to you before that we didn't want the newsletter to be was just a repeat of what you had already seen on Facebook. So it's new and exciting stuff, that we're excited is happening, and ongoing, and just almost a regular occurrence probably at this point. Some of the things that are going on in the classroom, so we're excited about that. Just as a reminder, all of the faculty and staff in the entire school system were given commemorative bricks in December. That was something that was really important to me. I decided on day one, on my first day here, when I saw the old building going down, and obviously the new building had not gone up at that point, it was just dirt, but I knew what it was gonna be. I knew how important buildings are to communities, especially small communities, rural communities. I knew that we had teachers who had taught in that school building. They probably had parents and grandparents that had attended school and graduated from there. So to me, it was important for them to have a piece of that, for all of us to have a piece of that. And so everyone received one of the old bricks from the actual old school that was demolished, and one of the new bricks from the new building that's being built. So they could have a piece of the old and a piece of the new, and I have received a lot of feedback from that, about how appreciative everyone are. They just love that they have the piece of the two buildings, and so that was very well received, and I appreciate all of her support in helping me get that done. Her and Jennifer both really made that happen and stepped up. That was a big undertaking, so I appreciate all those efforts and everybody coming together. But we've had several community members that have requested them also, and so if you've got anybody that reaches out to you, I did order extras, I do have extras, so just send them my way, send them my office,